Chapter 1152, A Terrible Day. Gaban asks Luffy to pay attention at how you use Conqueror's Haki, and also says that the enemies are definitely not immortal. Then Gaban looks at Zoro and Sanji. So yeah, I guess this is the implication that in order to overcome the regeneration that we've seen from the Holy Knights and the Gorosei, you need to use next level Conqueror's Haki or a different application of it. In the previous spoilers, it made it seem like Gaban is like outright saying that you need to use like advanced Conqueror's Haki, but now it just seems more subtle. But it is confirmation that Conqueror's Haki is required to overcome that broken ability. Gaban says, looks like it's not just one person here who has Conqueror's Haki. Sanji approaches Gaban in a very funny way, but he's ignored, lol. Sanji says, is it me? I knew it. I won't let Mosshead and Jinbei's stocks be the only ones rising. That's pretty interesting. I wonder if that's like the direct translation of it, because that's just how the One Piece like online community talks about these characters too. Like, you know, buy these stocks, sell these stocks. So it's actually kind of meta, I guess, unintentionally by Oda, because this part of the chapter is directly affecting the stock market. Like, obviously Zoro's stock is raising because now it's straight up confirmed in the manga that he has Conqueror's Haki, and it's not being confirmed that Sanji has it. Gaban says, swordsman over there, looks like your body is used to it. Zoro says, I have Conqueror's Haki? And Luffy says, huh? You didn't know? It's been leaking, you know? And Gaban says, what a joke. Haki is only useful if you can recognize and control it. Is this how you intend to support your captain, who is one of the 4 emperors? Zoro says, sorry. So yeah, confirmed that Zoro has Conqueror's Haki, and Luffy knew it, because he was just sensing it coming from Zoro, I guess, during like his most intense fights in the last 2 arcs, I guess. And I guess he was also using it when he does like Ashura. That you can only do something like Ashura if you have Conqueror's Haki or something like that. I mean, that explains how he just becomes like multiple versions of himself. I mean, that explains how he, you know, creates that almost illusion, which I guess is also tangible with the Ashura. I don't know. Is it ever confirmed what is exactly going on there besides just Conqueror Haki magic? But first, guys, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, HOFSCO. Because I just got the new HOFSCO GTRS 1500 watt moped style electric bike. These are like the new cool type of e-bikes out there that I see a bunch of you Gen Alphas riding around on. So I had to get one for myself, and it's pretty incredible. Like I said, this thing has a 1500 watt peak motor that delivers super powerful acceleration and handles various terrains effortlessly. It actually has up to a top speed of 32 miles per hour. That is really fast. It has a 48 volt 15 Ah battery that ensures long range riding, which is ideal for like commuting or just going on an adventure. It has a multi-function LCD display that shows the speed, battery level, and mileage in real time. Also, all HOFSCO e-bikes come with free US shipping and a 2-year warranty, with 100 plus dealers offering test rides and maintenance. So guys, get your very own HOFSCO HOV GTRS moped style e-bike by checking the link in the description, and make sure you use code BIGZ for $100 off. Thanks, guys. Then angry Sanji asks Gaban, hey old man, what about me? But he's interrupted by Loki and Hiruden argument. So while this isn't confirming that Sanji has it, it's also like a joke sequence, but I do think this means that Sanji does have Conqueror's Haki, especially the emphasis being put on it in this sequence. It's just going to probably be revealed in like the next arc or something. This is like Zoro's Conqueror Haki reveal arc. Sanji will get his in the next, and I think that's because it's supposed to parallel to like Roger's crew, you know? Luffy's Roger, Gaban is Sanji, and then I guess Rayleigh is Zoro. And they all have Conqueror's Haki on Roger's crew, so naturally the top 3 on the Straw Hats would have it as well. Loki says, disgraceful Hiruden, you're going to let outsiders save your homeland? Elbaf has me. And Hiruden says, with you, there's even that possibility of you helping the government side. You did that kind of thing on that day. How can we trust you? Suddenly, Luffy says something that takes Loki by surprise. Hey Loki, why don't you become one of my Nakamas? Hiruden, if Loki is part of my crew, you can release him, right? Zoro and Sanji say that's not a good idea due to Loki's size and the amount of food he has to eat. Hiruden realizes that Luffy can tell by instinct that Loki is trustworthy, but he refuses to. And Loki also declines Luffy's proposal, saying that he won't follow anybody. So that was nice for about 5 seconds, the prospect of Loki like joining Luffy's crew. But yeah, it is a little too far-fetched. But I think, probably in the final arc, Loki will follow Luffy one way or another, whether he like literally becomes a Straw Hat or like an honorary Straw Hat or something, or just like a close ally to him. Again, with the parallels, it's supposed to go to like Joy Boy and that other like ancient giant Loki type of guy that we saw in the mural. So that's probably gonna, happen again with Luffy and Loki. Also, it's pretty funny that Hyrule is like refusing Luffy's offer here, considering that Hyrule is technically a part of Luffy's crew through the Grand Fleet, and Luffy is a Yonko. So like imagine if like that happened with another Yonko crew, like if Kaido asked a Flying Six to do something for him and they refused. It's like, no, that wouldn't happen. You can't refuse. But, it's Luffy, so I get it. Zoro and Sanji go first to the Sun World with the Giants, except Hyrule and Loki. When they are alone, Gaban asks Hyrule to release Loki. Then Gaban reveals that he and Shanks were also there at the castle when Harold's incident happened, but they didn't see the whole thing. Okay, so Zoro and Sanji going to the Sun World first, except with Hyrule and Loki, they're staying behind, of course. We can't have Loki getting too much into the battle yet, but I guess the warm-up is going to be Zoro and Sanji going against whatever's up there, like the giants that have been Domi reversied, and then Emu inside of Gunko, and then the nightmare monsters. And now we're finding out that Gaban and Shanks were at the castle when Loki killed Harold, but they didn't see the full thing, and now we're going into a flashback. Hyrule asks Loki to tell him everything now. Loki starts the story by saying it was one really terrible day. A flashback starts. It takes place 14 years ago. Loki and Jarl were called to the castle. Loki looked quite friendly towards Jarl. He's a bit taller than Jarl. Loki said he hates world government since they killed Rox, so he wanted to talk with his father. That's really interesting. Is that the first confirmation that Rox was killed? I mean, I guess it said that he died, right? Or that he's not alive, but I don't remember the specifics of it. But this is also confirming that the quote-unquote world government killed Rox. So was that like the Navy? Was it Garp who killed him? Or is he specifically saying world government because maybe it was a holy knight? Maybe it was Garling. Maybe Garling killed Rox. Oh, that makes sense. Garling killed Rox, so that's why Blackbeard doesn't like Shanks. Aside from him being a celestial dragon. Oh, that's a great theory. I gotta make like a separate video about that. When they arrived to the throne entrance, Loki stamped one giant soldier into the door to open it. When they entered the throne room, Loki and Jarl were shocked to see Harold being stabbed by several of his own soldiers. We only see Harold's silhouette, so we don't know if he was transformed into a demon or not, but it looks like if Harold had horns and wings. Whoa. So it's possible that the theory that Emu, like, Domi reversing Harold is true. Then I guess he, like, fought it off or something? I don't know. Just from this summary, it seems like he may be Domi reversing or whatever. Jarl says, Harold, and Loki says, what the hell did you guys think you're doing? Meanwhile, we see that Gaban and Shanks were having a bath in the thermal baths outside of Gaban's house. That is a branch near the castle. Gaban was much younger at the time. Just half of his hair had gray hair, and he only had a black braid goatee and mustache. We discovered that Shanks had a tattoo on his left arm just above the elbow. We can't see the tattoo close up, but it looks similar to this picture. I don't know if the lines are arrows, bones, or another thing. So what we can see right here from Read-On, it looks similar to what the Holy Knight symbol is. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but the Holy Knight symbol looks like if you drew something on top of this symbol. So I don't know exactly what this is. I don't know if we've seen this before, but it very likely has something to do with celestial dragons or whatever. Gaban says, it's been such a long time since we shared a tub. Must have been 3 or 4 years. And Shanks says, of course not. It's been a decade since the captain passed. Gaban says, it's been that long, huh? Must feel especially long for you. Shanks says, indeed, my life has completely changed. To tell you the truth, I just wanted to live life being some jolly pirate with Buggy. Because there are so many things I want to know about Elbaf too. Gaban says, well, you are the child of destiny. Let's not talk about these complicated stuff today, Shanks. Okay, so I think this is the first time we're hearing Shanks being called the child of destiny, and I guess that's what Roger saw in him possibly, why he gave him the straw hat. I mean, if there is any kind of destiny to Shanks, I guess it was just to give the straw hat to Luffy so that he could become the new Messiah, right? Then both talked about their adventures, like when they met Dory and Broggy in Little Garden and Ripley appears to greet Shanks. Finally, Shanks explained that he's an Elbaf because he wanted to talk with King Harold about something. At the same time, we see a mysterious shadow in the castle opening the treasure room with a legendary Akuma no Mi in the chest. Okay, so this is like the legendary devil fruit of Elbaf, the one that Loki allegedly ate. I guess we're not seeing it good enough here, and we're definitely not being told what it is, but I guess this is going to come into play very soon, and we might find out what the devil fruit is. We might not find out like what it does and what it looks like, but we might just get a name on it, which would be pretty cool. Then, in the epic final page of the chapter, another flashback starts. This time, it takes place 109 years ago. The narrator says, going back even further in time, 109 years ago, in a time where if you ask anyone who lives on the seas, the thing you fear the most in this world, everyone will answer the giant pirates. We see that the great Eric is chasing a ship in the sea with very young Doribragi Oimokashi, but we also see another giant ship docked in the human kingdom. The narrator says, at the same time, an official ship coming from the Kingdom of Giants acts as another reason as to why the name Elbaf is associated with absolute terror. Harold says, I heard they have a beautiful princess inside the castle. Go take a look. People go, ah! One of the giant soldiers that accompany Harold looked for the princess through a castle window, but Harold stamped into the castle and destroyed it. People fled from the kingdom while the king and the princess cried in fear. Harold says, oops, I slipped. And the giant says, Your Majesty, please stop. The chapter ends with young Harold's presentation. Physically, Harold looked very similar to Loki. He had short spiked hair. He was very violent. He says, who's your god now? Narrator says Harold, the king of Elbaf, who ascended to his throne at the young age of 45, which is 15 in human years. He was a real jerk. End of chapter, no break next week. So yeah, we're going into the Harold flashback. This is going to be like the flashback of Elbaf, I guess. We're going to probably jump around time for a little bit, it seems like, because we're already 109 years ago, so we have like 109 years to fill in like, I don't know, maybe 8 chapters or something possibly. And I guess it ends with why Loki killed Harold. The princess that he's going after right now might be, Loki or Hiruden's mom. Probably Hiruden's mom, right? No, it's definitely Hiruden's mom because, that's why Hiruden is in the position that he is. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. If you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.